Authorities in Ukraine say at least 17 people have been killed after the latest barrage of Russian missiles and drones. The overnight attacks were the latest in a series of large-scale strikes that have become almost routine this summer. According to Kyiv, Ukraine was unable to shoot down a single Russian missile. President Vladimir Zelensky once again reiterated calls for ballistic interceptors. Now, for more on all of this, we can bring in our international affairs editor, Kethevane Gorjestani. Kethevane, good to see you. I want to talk about a story which is happening near the front lines, where Ukrainian civilians are also being targeted, this time through small drones. And Ukraine says Russia is deliberately hunting down civilians. Tell us more about this story.
Yes, this video was released yesterday. We don't know exactly what day it was taken, but it was published yesterday. And it's a video of a street vendor who's being chased down by a Russian drone around his van. You see the man trying to flee and run around his van. And eventually that drone explodes. Luckily for the vendor, he is alive. He was injured, but no serious injuries. And he was explaining what had happened there. But Vladimir Zelensky, the Ukrainian president, took to X to really slam the Russians for this example. He called it yet another example of Russian drone safaris targeting Ukrainian civilians. And he added, the world must see this. It must see every piece of evidence that Russia has gone mad and that its soldiers take pleasure in killing and abusing civilians. His foreign minister called it a barbaric Russian war crime and that it was deliberate and systemic by Russia using this strategy. And that is because this is not the first case of Russian use of these remotely piloted FPV drones. That's the actual term, the first-person view. That means these are drones that are connected to the person operating them, and they can see exactly what they're doing. So they know they are following a civilian, and especially that has been used near the front line, like in Kherson, which sits really just across the river from a Russian-occupied territory. And a report published last year by the UN Human Rights Monitoring Mission in Ukraine said that Russia had, quote, repeatedly killed and injured civilians in the Kherson region using those short-range drones. They also say that these targetings have been on the rise since the start of this year, and also said that in June, short-range drones killed and injured more civilians than at any other month since the start of the war in that Kherson region. So this is something that the Russians, according to this UN monitoring agency, is increasing and using more and more. They use those ballistic missiles to hit Kyiv, but they are also using these drones to terrorize civilians in those regions.
Yeah, because it definitely didn't look like a military target in that video. Thank you very much for that, Kethevane Gorjestani there.